Hello viewers, welcome to our lecture series on marketing management, and today we are going to continue our discussion on the topic of understanding marketing environment. This is going to be part 3 of our lectures on the topic of marketing environment, where we have been talking about how to deal with micro and macroeconomic factors, how to understand these factors which are related to marketing environment, which means what is the environment in which we have to work, and unless we understand that what are those environmental forces which are working there, we cannot plan our strategy, we cannot strategize ourselves in order to achieve our goals. So we have been talking about learning how this demographic and economic factors affect marketing. We have also talked about identification of trends in the firm's natural and technological environment, and we shall be extending our discussion on the topic of this understanding marketing environment, wherein we have talked about micro and macroeconomic factors, and we have also done a classification of controllable and uncontrollable factors, the one which are under our exclusive control, which is under the inner circle of understanding marketing environment, and the other one is basically uncontrollable, which is beyond the control of a marketer, and we have to somehow bear with it, we have to manage with it, because there are certain situations when we cannot change it. So what is the right way of dealing with it, how to manage with it? Suppose if you are not having a weather which is conducive to your requirement, what would you try to do? You would definitely try to manage with the weather in which we are living, we have to live. Same is the case of a business enterprise, same is the case of a marketer. So according to the situation, they have to strategize, they have to plan, they have to chalk out their strategies, that in this environment what we have to exactly do. So we have talked about the political factors, we have talked about the demographic factors. Now we'll talk about the natural environment, the way it is going to affect our own marketing strategies. As we all know that when I talk about natural environment, what it includes, it actually involves the natural resources which are needed as inputs by a marketer who is working in a particular setup, and they are affected by different or the natural factors with which we are going to get affected in terms of our activities. So if we look at the trend in terms of natural environment, we are at times witnessing shortage of raw material because of that natural environment. Since you are doing this marketing task, you are executing this marketing task in an environment where the natural environment is not in your favor, then of course there can be a situation of shortage of raw materials. So there you have to plan your minimum stock and your reordering level in that way only, so that there is no shortage of raw material, and we should maintain the enough stock with us when we are dealing with that area where the nature is where the climatic conditions are not in favor, or the climatic conditions are very tough. So in those situations, the trend which we have been witnessing is the shortage of raw material. So how to deal with that? That is something which marketers should keep in mind if you are going to deal with a situation where the climatic conditions are not in favor. And there are other situations also. Sometimes your climatic conditions are good, but there is an increased pollution. So how to deal with that situation? How to show, how to exhibit your concern towards sustainability, because that should be taken as an opportunity for you to serve the society, where we can at least contribute to the management of that increased pollution. So there are two ways to manage with it. One is by not adding anything new to it, number one, and number two, you're not adding any problem to that environmental worries, and at the top of it, what you are doing, you are actually trying to manage the situation of increased pollution. So with that, you can give a message to the customers that yes, this is a marketer who is showing his or her concern towards the social issues. Say for instance, there is some environmental degradation in the area, so in place of emitting or adding more emissions to that increased pollutions, marketers should try to manage with the existing situation and try to reduce to whatever extent it is possible for you, you should try to reduce. So when we talk about natural environment, it not only includes the climatic conditions but also the situation of pollution. And you have been witnessing that most of the marketers of certain products, for instance air purifiers, they are basically taking it as an opportunity that yes, there is an increased pollution, so you have to take care of your health, and for that you have to maintain the positive atmosphere at least at your home, and for that the air purifier is a product. So for that the problem of increased pollution, there is a solution called air purifiers which we are using, which is there in place. So the natural environment also plays a very vital role when a marketer is deciding that what product should I sell, what kind of marketing strategies should I enter into. So these factors, they do affect. If you find a very good message on the packaging of a product that keep your city clean, marketer has nothing to do with that cleanliness of a city. But yes, since we are following the societal concept of marketing, we have to be concerned about the social issues. We have to be concerned about the kind of increased pollution we are witnessing in a given area. So your task is not only to make profit, but you have to understand that my task is to make profit through customer satisfaction, make profit in a way which is acceptable to all, where I take care of all the stakeholders. So natural environment does play a very vital role when a marketer is going to execute his or her plan in a given environment. So this is also an environment which falls under the category of uncontrollable factors. We cannot control, we cannot hold the situation. So what we can do is we can try to make best out of it. Whatever situation we are witnessing, we should try to make best out of it. The next environment is technological environment, and my dear learners, I am telling you, this technological environment is going to decide the fate of 21st century marketing. Now whatever changes we are witnessing in the marketing, no matter what name you are assigning to it, no matter what colors you are assigning to it in the name of recent trends in marketing, but it is somehow emanating or originating from a factor called technological environment. So it is the technology which is adding a new feather in the cap of marketers every day. So with the help of technology, not only you are improvising your services in terms of delivering your products on time, but you are also listening to your customers' worries. You can have access to what my customer wants to communicate. So thanks to the technology that it is there to help us. So the most dramatic force which is shaping our destiny as a marketer is coming from technological environment. So this is one of the most integral and most significant part of marketing environment, where we have to not only accept the changes in the technology, but we should also stay in sync with the latest development and changes. So we have to understand that either you stay relevant in the marketplace, or you be ready to be weeded out, be ready to be shunted out, because nothing can stop you from being redundant if you are not technologically advanced, if you are not technologically updated. So you have to understand that this is one of the most significant force shaping our destiny as a marketer, and at the top of this change, the pace of change is another important factor, because it is rapidly changing force which creates many new marketing opportunities, but of course it is also giving posing so many challenges in front of us. It also turns many existing products of yours extinct. Your product may become redundant because of the new technology. So we have to understand that this technological environment is very important part of our marketing environment, and we have to stay relevant in the marketplace by staying updated. So wherever the marketer is available, you have to make yourself available. You can't say that we don't believe into the customer relationship management by the way of chatbots, or by the way of online mails, or by the way of online chats. You have to be ready for that. Suppose if my customer want the new technology, insertion of new technology into the product, you have to include that if you really want to stay relevant in the marketplace. So technological environment, if we keep on giving examples, there are number of examples for variety of products. You name any product which falls under the category of semi durable or durable, you would find that they are somehow having the technology at the front. And even in the FMCG, the role of technology at the back end, the role of technology in terms of designing the product, in terms of packaging the products is something which cannot be denied. So, we have to understand that technological environment also plays a very significant role. Moving ahead, we will talk about the political legal environment. Why I am saying political legal? Because when we talk about political environment, the legal component automatically comes into it, or it is vice versa also. If I talk about the legal environment, the political environment automatically finds its place at the back of it, because from the polity we are getting the enactments, for the polity, from the polity we are getting the concerned rules and regulations. There is a term called law of land. So, the country in which you are operating, the country in which you are doing your business, you have to understand, you have to honor, you have to abide by those rules and regulations, those laws of a specific land where you are operating. Even for the water and air, also if you are doing your retailing in air or retailing in sea, then too the law of that particular area is applicable for us, and that is covered under the political legal environment. So, we have to first understand that if you are visiting a specific country, if you are selling your product in a specific country, you have to abide by all the rules and regulations, all enactments which are basically enacted in that specific country. So, you have to first understand the law of land, and having said law of land, it automatically includes the laws for sea and air as well. Because some people say that, sir, you said law of land is applicable, what about when I am doing retailing in air? What about when my marketing activities are going on in sea? Then too you have to understand that whether it is water, whether it is earth or it is air, you have to understand that law of that particular country or particular area need to be honored. So, having said political environment, it comprises of laws, government agencies, and of course, the pressure groups which influence or limit various organizations and individuals in a given society. When I am talking about a specific legislation which is affecting businesses worldwide, it has increased rapidly. There are certain laws which are protecting companies in a given country, and also the consumers and the interest of society. So, we have to understand, suppose if any foreign company is coming in India and they are doing their operations and they are fulfilling certain conditions of section 135 of Companies Act 2013, they are bound to shell out 2% of their profit on listed CSR activities. They cannot say no to that. So, this is a law which is enforced into that into a specific country called India. So, anybody or everybody who is operating in our country has to abide by this enactment. I have given you one example. There are a number of other examples of enactments also. Suppose if I talk about pharmaceutical industry. So, for certain medicines which are under the scheduled drug category, there is a specific need of prescription. So, if you are a pharmacist, you have to honor those regulations that you cannot sell those medicines as over the counter medicines. You have to honor those regulations that yes, since this medicine is under the scheduled drug category, I have to ask for the prescription of a registered medical practitioners, and for certain medicines which are under a specific category, you may have to keep a copy of those prescriptions as well. So, these are two examples I have given. So, the political environment is something which is also giving us an opportunity to understand the different rules and regulations across the globe. If I talk about legislation, we can take example of an incident called demonetization which happened in India. For certain reasons, government took a step to demonetize. Imagine the marketers behind this this entire you can say that there was a kind of shutdown for some time, although government was trying its level best to help each and everyone to manage with the situation, because it is in the interest of nation, it is in the interest of citizens and the general public. So, they did it, and you find number of companies, number of payment platforms, they found it as an opportunity. So, you you could witness the mushrooming of so many online payment platforms, digital platforms, which actually initially were like startups, and they emerged as a huge company, as a unicorn. So we understand that from the political legal environment, whatever enactments, whatever rules and regulations, whatever the guidelines are prescribed to a particular specific business or specific industry, we have to abide by those rules and regulations, and it is something which falls under the category of uncontrollable factors. We can only manage with it, we cannot have control over it. We can try to affect it by the way of pressure groups, by the way of trade associations. We can raise our voices, we can negotiate with the agencies, but yes, of course, whatever rules, whatever laws which are implemented, which are in practice, you have to abide by them. So political environment is another very important component of understanding marketing environment. So we have to understand that nowadays there is an increased emphasis on socially responsible actions across the globe. So as a marketer, you have to be socially responsible as well. If you look at the genesis of at the core of any enactment, you would find that at the core what is there is socially responsible action. It is something which is expected from you as a marketer. Now moving ahead to cultural environment. Now what is cultural environment? Some people club two components into it. In some of the text you would find there is a combination of two components, socio and cultural. Society, social factors and cultural factors. That is why it is also called as socio-cultural environment, just like in case of political environment we call it political legal environment. So when I say cultural environment, it consists of institutions and other forces which affect a society's basic values, perceptions, preferences and behaviors. So if I am talking about the cultural, socio-cultural environment of any country in which we are going to operate, it actually gives us a reflection of various institutions and forces which are affecting the basic values, perceptions, preferences and behaviors of a society, the way in which society is going to behave. So if I am going to market my products in a particular society, I need to understand what their core values are, what perceptions those society members are having about a particular product, what preferences, what are their preferences, their taste, their behaviors, that we need to understand. So we cannot deny to the cultural component, we cannot ignore the cultural, the significance of socio-cultural environment. So socio-cultural environment comprises of the society's basic values, attitudes, perception and behavior. And these forces, my dear learners, they help in determining what type of product customers are going to prefer, what influences the purchase attitude or decision of a customer, that is also getting affected by socio-cultural environment. Which brand I am going to buy, which brand I am going to prefer, or at what time I would buy the product, that also is at times decided by the socio-cultural environment. Suppose if I talk about India as a nation, India is a country of festivities. There are number of festivals which we are celebrating. So there are certain products which are in huge demand at the time of festival only, or their demand is very high at the time of those festivals. So marketers cannot ignore that specific requirement, and at that time if you are not available as a marketer, if you are not able to meet the demand of the customers, of course customer is going to find another choice, another better choice, and that would actually result into the loss of customers. So this is the significance of socio-cultural environment, because at times my learners ask me, sir, you have been telling us that each and every component of marketing environment is very significant from one point or the other. Of course they are significant. You cannot ignore the significance of socio-cultural environment. So is the case of political legal. You cannot say that I would remain backward in terms of technological upgradation. You have to be upgraded. You can't stay irrelevant. You can't stay in the market by saying that I would stay irrelevant. I would sell this only, because it is no more a producer oriented society. And if you link it to the marketing philosophies or concept, gone are the days when we used to talk like a producer oriented economy, where the production concept was actually in practice, and we used to say whatever we are producing customers are going to buy. No, whatever customer wants, whatever customer prefers, that we need to manufacture, that we have to manufacture otherwise we shall not be in a position to survive. So, this is the beauty of understanding these components, because unless you understand, you cannot do justice to what you are supposed to do as a marketer. So, the socio-cultural environment is giving a reflection of the characteristics of the society in which my company is existing. And if I analyze these socio-cultural environment or socio-cultural factors, I can identify the threats and opportunities for my organization, for my company as a marketer. I can identify that out of these components, these are the threats for me, and I can find these as an opportunity. So, we can find certain trends also in terms of socio-cultural environment. If we look at the growth of ethnic and racial diversity, it is bringing a more heterogeneous consumers, and these heterogeneous consumers, they are having unique cultural backgrounds and preferences. So, if you look at their diversity, amid that diversity and heterogeneity, they have a unique cultural background and preferences. So, you have to find the common component into that heterogeneity. You have to find what is the commonality into that, so that we can find a segment to be served by us. If I talk about colors, they have a very great amount of cultural significance. Suppose if I talk about the wedding in the east and in the west, if you talk about wedding in India and wedding in western countries, if you talk about making use of colors, bridal colors are never white. But if you talk about the western culture, there the during the marriages, they are using white color as well. So, colors have a cultural significance and interpretation across cultures. So, if we do not understand, we may commit a mistake, and that mistake will actually cost our customers. In India, if we look at different ethnic groups, they have different preferences, different tastes and consumption patterns, be it their food, be it their dressing style, it actually differs from that of western countries. So, even within the country, within India, one size fit all approach cannot work here. We have to customize our products according to the different requirements of different ethnic groups, which are having different preferences, tastes and consumption pattern. So, how can we provide a uniform product? How can we provide one product to all the customers? Of course, we cannot. So, we have to make some kind of customization, but at the core what matters is we have to find the commonality in amid this heterogeneity. So, wherever you find that the market is very heterogeneous, you have to find that what is common into this market, and that commonality we can take up and we can try to serve our customers in a better way. So, I can give you example of the lifestyles of people are changing day by day. This is a new trend, and now we are finding that even in the eastern setup, women are perceived as an active earning member of the family, and this is resulting into women being a decision maker in the family, and they are working and family has less time to spend for shopping. So, we are having information rich and time poor customers. So, we have to understand that how to get best out of this situation. So, cultural environment actually includes people's perception about themselves, that what I think about myself, identify with brands for self expression, what I think about others, what I think about organizations. There is a trend of decline in trust and loyalty to companies. There has been certain cases which are there where people are having a negative perception about a certain organization. Even for society, patriotism is on the rise. If I talk about nature, even the lifestyle of health and sustainability is also there, for which our perception is changing. So, my dear learners, if we try to understand marketing environment, we can identify opportunities and threats, we can understand customers' needs and preferences, we can customize our strategies according to that, and we can find best out of whatever situations we are witnessing. And at the top of it, what we can do is we can make informed decision making. So, I hope you must have understood what we have to do in understanding the marketing environment and how to deal with it. I hope you must have enjoyed this very segment of my lecture on marketing environment. Thank you so much.